Hi, welcome to Becoming. It's midnight, so apologies for the knackered look. I'm making a video to help someone out. It's called Becoming Familiar with ADHD. Hope you guys enjoy it, I guess. So, the reason I'm making this video is to tell you about my journey discovering that I had ADHD, what it means, and how I'm kind of working with it to 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 work in life, I guess. Um, doesn't make sense. I'm thinking out loud. This ain't scripted. Bear with me. Right. So I've got ADHD. How did I know I had it? I had ADHD only by looking back at my life up to now. So maybe some of the things that I was experiencing when I was younger, you might identify with, and it might make you think of getting a diagnosis too, or having it assessed to see if you've got ADHD or not. So there's three different types of ADHD. There's inattentiveness, which is the ability to be distracted. There's impulsiveness or hyperactivity, and then there's a third ADHD, which is combined. So you could have both. You could be inattentive and get easily distracted, as well as being impulsive and having hyperactivity. So I've always been hyperactive to some degree, and loud, a bit of an extrovert. I don't think you always have to be an extrovert. You could be an introvert. But at school, I used to be distracted quite a bit, inattentive in class, wouldn't be able to fully hear what's going on from the teacher in terms of learning, and I'd have to fill in the blanks in my mind. So I'd pick up a bit of what the teacher was saying in class, and then miss some other elements. Then I'd have to figure it out, or look at my friends' work, or ask them, what did I miss? What's going on? What are we doing? And then get by that way. You can perform not. You can get bad grades, but still be intelligent at the same time. So what I mean by that is you can be smart, but this ADHD, the symptoms of it, can cause you not to perform well. And to perform well, you need some support. So at school, I got some tutoring, and I was able to perform well and pass my 11 plus and get into a grammar school. But again, without but then when I stopped having tutoring, and I had to get by at school just by learning from the classroom environment, I didn't do so well. Again, I was inattentive. I was easily distracted. I was playing, asking questions, playing with my friends in terms of playing games, verbal games, in the classroom. I would make song playlists just because it was interesting and fun, as opposed to what I was learning in the classroom, just because I couldn't process it. It just wasn't going into my head, and therefore, again, I wasn't getting good grades. So I was struggling at school, and I couldn't do my homework at home. I'd do it during my lunch breaks at school, then I wouldn't do it as well as I could do. So it was just not great. Finished secondary school with half of my GCSEs. Fortunately, still was able to get into college. Took a year out, but then did 2 years of A levels. Didn't do so well, and then I was about to drop it all and go into the world of work. Fortunately, at the time, my now wife said to me, "Why don't you explore a different route instead of A levels and look at this new course, which is called an access course, and it condenses 2 A level years into 1 year. So it's very fast paced, and for me, that fast pace was really good at holding my attention, and I was able to pass as a result of it. So it was easier for me not to get distracted because, well, one, the subject was really interesting to me. It was business and IT, so it kept me engaged from that perspective. So go in life, if you're interested in something, you're more likely to be more focused. And the fast pace of it means that I didn't have to get bored. I didn't have time to get bored. So boredom for me was a big issue. It is a big issue, still is. So doing well there. I still was not diagnosed. I still avoided a diagnosis. I still didn't know what I had. I was still trying to figure things out, but went to university and struggled even more. So couldn't focus in lesson, but there was so much to learn and so much textbooks to read that I couldn't read outside of class that I was just not performing, and I was struggling so much that I ended up getting depressed and couldn't figure out why. Went to the GP and they said, "Well, you're spiraling. I wonder what the issue is." And I kept saying, "I just can't work. I go back to my room and I can't work. I can't process the textbooks. It just won't go in and I can't focus in class." To which he said, "Well, why don't you try and get assessed in case you have an underlying condition there?" I thought that was a great idea. I thought it was a bit of a light bulb moment, to be fair. So I went to, what was the department called? There's a certain department at university where they allow you to get an assessment done for a disability. Got the assessment done and they couldn't figure out what it was. And so they said, "We know you've got something, but we don't know what it is. We think it's dyspraxia, so we're going to go with that. It will get you access to support that we think you need, and hopefully that'll make a difference." And it did. Having access to new software that reads out text and that writes text just by speaking into a microphone, a coloured overlay on a screen, a bit of tutoring to kind of bounce ideas, having a tutor present, or sessions with a tutor where I can kind of summarize what I think I'm learning to this individual. They would then clarify my understanding, and having a bit of back and forth verbally really helps me to do much better. And I ended up passing university, and I was so happy, even though it was a third. To me, I was so happy that I passed. And what I've learned in life is grades don't really dictate what you end up doing in life or how well you do. That's just an accomplishment. To do well in life, you've got to have drive and motivation and want to do well, and you can still do well because there's loads of avenues. So just because you have a disability or a neurodiverse condition doesn't mean that you can't do well in life. So what I would say is get a diagnosis, get some support, and try and achieve your potential in a different way. And so a few years later down the line, I was impulsive. I realized that in reflection I was impulsive. I was fidgety. I was easily distracted, not able to focus. And that's when I really thought, and I looked into dyspraxia a bit more, and I realized a linking condition is ADHD. And it seemed, as when I read the symptoms on the NHS website, that I had it. So I went to go explore the assessment, and yeah, I was diagnosed with combined ADHD, and it was a relief. It was a big moment of relief in my life because a lot of things made sense. And since the diagnosis and since having help with software and stuff, it's also helped me to kind of know how to be in situations now. Be mindful of interrupting, being mindful of how much I'm fidgeting and how that's affecting others. So getting a diagnosis is really powerful for lots of different reasons. And having ADHD is really cool. It can be really cool once you know what it is and you're able to manipulate it in situations. What I mean by that is the fact that when you're hyperactive, I find myself being very busy. My mind's very busy. That can, if you're a person that likes to do stuff, you can get a lot of stuff done. So it's really good in that way. And the daydreaming aspect helps you be, I find some creativity in that. You can use these things to your advantage. So don't look at it as a negative thing. It can be a positive. You just got to have the right tools and be aware of it and understand it to turn it from being a negative into a positive. So that's my journey in a nutshell. I hope you've learned from it, what taken from it what you can. I hope it helps you. And yeah, if you feel like you've got something, just go ahead, talk to your GP and see if you can get a diagnosis or get it assessed to see if there is something there or not. So thanks for watching this video. I'll try and create bite-sized chunks of it later on. Have a great day.